July 17th, 2007. Would you please stand and join me in the pledge to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. A few announcements this morning before we get started. There was no action taken last week at the following two closed sessions. Number one, a closed session conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation for significant exposure to litigation, 2 cases pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9b1. And the second one was a closed session conference with real property negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8, various APNs, agency negotiator, county administrative officer, negotiation parties, Ryan Voorhees, Greg Gopinski, under negotiation, instruction to negotiator regarding potential purchase price and financing options. There is an addendum to today's agenda. It will be item 8A, discussion and possible action regarding a resolution authorizing the sheriff to contract with Alcoholic Beverage Control to administer a grant in the amount of $25,331 available through the Grant Assistance Program. Okay. We'll move to the consent agenda. Consent agenda items are expected to be routine and non-controversial. They'll be acted upon by the board at any one time without discussion. Any board member, staff member, or interested party may request removal of an item from the consent agenda for later discussion. Board members, staff, any member of the public. Wow, that hasn't happened in a while. Okay. All in favor of,
I move for approval.
For approval, got a motion first. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries on a 5-0. We will be in recess until 10 minutes after 9. Six is public comment. This is the time where any member of the public can address the board on any topic that is not on today's agenda. Are there any public comments this morning?
Good morning, fellow Stoughton. I'd like clarification on last week's request about the letter concerning a fundraising concert for the re-election of Steve Walensky and tickets being sold at the Calaveras County Arts Council. Has the County Council determined whether this is public property that is receiving public funds, and can they do this? Would somebody please ask County Council that?
I think we did.
I'll consider that asked. Mr. Chair, I did look into this, and there is no clear-cut answer to this question, and I'll explain the reason for that. Our county ordinance prohibits the use of county property for political activity, but that ordinance applies to employees of the county. The folks at the Arts Council, to my knowledge, are not county employees. There is a provision in the Government Code that prohibits the use of public resources for campaign activity. That section, I should back up and point out that it does turn out that the facility where the Arts Council conducts its business is on county property, but as I say, the ordinance applies to county employees, not tenants of county property. The Government Code section prohibits the use of public resources for a campaign activity. That statute provides, however, that a campaign activity does not include the incidental and minimal use of public resources. I understand that they were one of several ticket outlets, and that apparently one ticket was sold. In my judgment, says that that's probably an incidental or minimal use of a public resource, and so that's the reason why I conclude that there is no clear-cut answer to this question. Obviously, the whole structure is intended to prevent the use of taxpayer funds for political activities, for campaign activities, but that has to be counterbalanced with the right of citizens, including public employees, to participate in the political process. So I can't answer the question.
Very good.
Okay, I'm still working on my 5 minutes here, so.
Well, if I also have at least a partial answer to that, which is that all those occurred in my absence. I, upon coming back, found that there were objections to this, and while I have heard the advice of counsel, I think, given that there is a concern that we have withdrawn the tickets from that site, so it's not an issue. The transaction that happened with you is being refunded. Yes.
I'll get my money back?
Yes. It's
$25, people.
Actually, it's already in the mail, and you went to the Arts Council.
Now, does that mean I'm not invited to the concert?
Carlos, if I could please explain. You came to the Arts Council. They were under the impression that the county council was reviewing the situation. They were resistant to selling it. You told them that you came from the county council and that it was okay to sell it. They sold you that ticket.
Well, that's a blatant lie. They sold me that ticket. They looked at my name after I gave them the check, and they tried to take the
This is a
ticket back.
public comment portion, so let's not get into that discussion here.
Whatever occurred, you seemed upset with it. The funding for the ticket that you provided is being refunded to you, and it either is already in the mail or on its way.
Well, I thank you for the money, but the fact is, you just stated a series of events that didn't take place in that order. Steve?
Well,
Mr. Lewinsky,
this is what has been conveyed to me by the person who you talked with at the Arts Council.
Well, let me convey what happened. I went into the Arts Council looking to purchase a ticket, called first, asked them if the tickets were for sale, went in there, purchased the ticket, and then said, you know, it'd probably be a good idea that you come to the meeting on Tuesday. They're going to discuss this matter. And immediately they looked at my name on the check and tried to get it back, saying, well, we're waiting for county council's recommendation on this, and after giving me the check, selling it. So I assume that they're in the business of selling tickets, not taking them back.
Well, they are not in the business of selling the tickets. The tickets have been returned. Your issue, whatever reason it's being brought forward, has been resolved.
And I'd like to point out that they're in violation of the Internal Revenue Service Code, and that really you're going to have to keep this very separate between the Arts Council, because they're a nonprofit, a private nonprofit, and it specifically spells out the parameters in which they can operate.
Okay, I think we've got the answer. They sold one ticket. The money's being refunded. There was a headline in the paper.
Well, that's not the point. That's it. The ticket, to me, is not the point, that my money's being refunded.
The point is that it's no longer a point, Mr. Stoughton. Thank you for your comments.
Well, thank you, Chair.
Are there any other public comments today?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm assuming that part of the agenda is that you will be discussing a letter from Howard Burroughs regarding zoning. It's on the agenda for today.
What letter would that be?
Howard Burroughs regarding zoning.
I don't believe it's on the agenda. I think it was just a letter.
Correspondence. It's in correspondence.
Right.
Yeah.
So since you're not discussing it, I'd like to speak.
Very well.
My name is G. Hagedorn. I spoke here a couple of weeks ago regarding the Arolla Road issue.
Regarding what?
Regarding the Arolla Road issue and the legal access issue, easement issue. This letter was written by my husband, and I'm going to read it to you because he couldn't be here. With respect to Mr. Burroughs' letter, it appears he has been very active in trying to take advantage of an unclear status of Arolla Road. He has continually complained to the Board of Supervisors about how hard he is trying to work with the property owners. Yet his actions are quite different. This letter is a good example of what Mr. Burroughs wants to do. The letter is the letter that you all have in your possession. Dictate the usage of not only his property, but the usage of all of us on Arolla Road. He is quick to join the comments of Supervisor Tryon in blaming the property owner for not doing enough research. I believe Supervisor Tryon said at this last meeting, was that 10%, it was 10% county fault and 90% property owner fault. I would say it's the other way. First of all, let's look at the root cause. Number one, the county subdivided the land after it had abandoned Arolla Road. Number two, the county zoned the land RA20. The parcels are stamped with the approval of the Calaveras County Planning Department. Number 3, the county issued building permits and, of course, took in revenues. It might be worth noting that several title companies and a 1978 Calaveras County Planning Commission thought it had Title II, or they wouldn't have issued policies and the county wouldn't have allowed for subdivisions. It was clearly not the intent of the county to have us landlocked. But Supervisor Tryon, who I believe is here to represent us, being in Vallecito, 2 weeks ago blamed the property owners for not doing due diligence. We believe we do have legal access, but because of sloppy work by the county, we are here today. We are also here because the county, in its wisdom, decided to stop issuing permits until we can prove legal access. This means the county is forcing us to go to court for its mistake. Mr. Burrows, who resides in Oakland and does not have to contend with any road issues, is now trying to use the county's mistake to his benefit and dictate how the local property owners can use their property. Because of the county, we have paid thousands of dollars in legal fees to try to get this mess straightened out, and undoubtedly will pay even more. The county represents the people. If it makes mistakes, it needs to own up to it and fix them. We have invested heavily in this county. We planted a vineyard. We built our house here. We support local functions and charities, and we pay tens of thousands of dollars each year in taxes. Others along the road have invested as well. We are trying to make Calaveras County a better place. I respectfully request that the county correct the error. I know it can't be done, and I would request you get your best people on it before more money is wasted. We have invested in this county, and we would request the county reciprocate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to respond to those comments, if I may, for a minute.
Okay.
First off, the first statement I would submit is inaccurate. The county did not subdivide the land out there. The property owners did. They submitted a map and subdivided the property. The county was not the applicant. The county did not prevent the subdivision. That's different than being the applicant and doing the subdivision. Secondly, just because a property is zoned RA20 or RR20 or whatever the zoning is doesn't automatically mean you get to divide it into those parcels and that the county is guaranteed legal access to those parcels. That's part of the entitlement process of the land division of access, and if you came in today with an RA with a bunch of 20-acre subdivisions, you'd have to meet the county road ordinance, and you'd have to bring the road up to county standards. That road was abandoned long before, it's my understanding anyway, long before the county part of that road to New Maloney's was abandoned long before the development took place out there. So when people developed out there, they knew very perfectly well what the access issues were, and that basically there wasn't any. And to me, the resolution of that is not for the county to run out and fix it. It's for those people that have subdivided to fix it, to form some kind of a road basin and an assessment district to assess those people out there, to pay for the costs necessary to acquire the right-of-way and to bring the road up to current county standards. I think both those things need to be done, and I don't think it's a responsibility of the county to dip into the county general funds and just run out and do it, because quite frankly we have these kinds of problems and situations all over the county, and the county would be quickly bankrupt if we just basically said we're going to bring the county roads up to county standards in Bar 20 and Circle 20 and Diamond 20 and Rancho and every place we have county roads. We have the Public Works Director come in once a year and talk to us about roads in the county maintained system and what it would cost to bring it up to current county standards, and that, I think the last time he spoke to the board, it was something like $160 million. So obviously the county isn't going to run out and just do these things. So the resolution out there in the end is going to be by the folks out there that have benefited from these subdivisions and the property values out there, et cetera, completing the entitlement process and acquiring the necessary right-of-way and bringing the road up to current county standards. I think that's the resolution, and at some point we're going to have to address that resolution. And it's going to be up to the people. If they don't want to form a district, a self-assessment district and do that, then they're going to basically, live with the consequences of what's there. And if you can get a judge and adjudicate it into something more power to you. But I think that's a rough road to go down, or a problematic road to go down at any rate. That completes my comment, Mr. Chair.
Are there any other comments this morning from the public? Jack.
Good morning, members of the board. I'm Jack Boating, President of the Chamber of Commerce. I have here, it's a good Calaveras Chamber of Commerce day out there today, isn't it? Looks very nice. I have here another letter that I would like to present to the board, to Chairman Claudino. Maybe I could give it to the clerk.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's for the chairman. Here's a copy for you and the rest of them. Just want to read, and I'm not asking you to read it publicly today. It's just want to remind you that we're not, the chamber is not trying to chastise, they're not trying to criticize. We really want to help. We have some very, very competent people on the board of directors and members. The chamber is charged with the economic welfare of this county, and that's what we're trying to protect and trying to move onward with, is the commercial and the economic welfare of Calaveras County. And we would gladly assist you in any way we can. We're asking for a session with you, and if that could be arranged, that would be most helpful, I think, to you and us both. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim.
By a session, what is it that you mean? Just the
Studies.
chamber, or a study session?
We should study.
Study session with the chamber or with the public.
We've
Study
had-
sessions with everyone.
Yes.
It's with everyone. And we've had public meetings on this before,
Yes, I
Jack,
know.
and the
We've had
chamber's
members
always
there.
been free to come.
Right.
Is there any other member of the public that would like to address the board on public comment?
David White, 201 Bonanza Mine Way, Angels Camp.
Have you signed in as well, David?
All right.
Thank you.
I want to thank Mr. Tryon for his comments. Not too many times I agree here, but the fact is, I agree, and the fact what you said, this is a problem between the landowners. It's not a county problem. Arola Road is just not. People knew when they bought what kind of right-of-way they had. If they didn't, they should have. They didn't do their study. If they feel they were taken by their realtor or whoever, there's remedies for that. It's called the justice system. That being said, I still have the question. I would still like to have that statute that people are saying that prescriptive right-of-ways are not legal.
I think on numerous occasions, county council has stated that prescriptive right-of-ways are legal, but in order to define a prescriptive right-of-way, you can't just create it out of thin air. You basically either reach an agreement with the property, with the property owner over whom the road travels as to what you have, and you get a recorded document, or you get it adjudicated, because just a prescriptive right, it's legal, but it has to be defined. I mean, you can't just create it out of thin air.
But until two parties disagree and we cannot resolve it among ourselves, it's a legal right-of-way. And once the courts get into it and adjudicate it, it is no longer prescriptive right-of-way.
Let's go back to this lady's comments on Arola Road. You can say that until two parties disagree, it's all right. So now you go out and you do this whole subdivision at the end of a roll of road, the property sells, and now the party disagrees. Well, now where are you? Now we're here.
I don't, down the road in the future, you guys can do anything you want, but these things been on the books for 100 years. Now, are you going to, as the county, going to go in and, I mean, what have we done wrong? We've obeyed the law up to this point. Now you're saying suddenly the law is wrong, so now we have to go sue somebody or whatever. I don't know what your decision is going to be, but everything I can read and understand, I've followed, and particularly in my case, every rule has been followed right down the line for 80, 90 years. Now suddenly I'm wrong. And this is not my doing. The county's made this decision. Now I want to know what law you're basing this decision on. That's all I'm asking.
We're basing it on a county code that says in order to issue permits, you have to establish that you have legal access to
this
parcels.
property was deeded to me, there was no such deed. What do you do? This is ex post facto law you're going to put in place now?
Well, if you say you have a prescriptive right, then go establish your prescriptive right. That's what you. That's all we're saying.
Nobody's arguing with me except you people.
Well, that doesn't mean somebody won't argue with you.
So let us cross that bridge when somebody argues with me.
That's what we're doing with the Roller Road. Let the development take place, and then we'll cross the bridge at a later time. That's not, I don't think that's in the public's best interest. I don't think that's in the county's best interest. I think we need to make sure that the entitlements are acquired prior to the development, not after the development.
Well, in my case, I was not asking to subdivide. I wasn't asking for anything other than being able to set up so I could give my property to my heirs. Now I got to go sue somebody to do that. Seems to me you people are overstepping your bounds. You've basically taken my property. You're denying me due process. How many more constitutional laws are we going to throw under the wheels so you can humor somebody who's throwing a hand grenade in the middle of things here? I mean, how are you going to resolve this? All of this stuff has been in place, and it's gone on for years and years and years with the county's blessing. Now suddenly it's all our fault. I didn't do this. I mean, think about what's going on here. I mean, I had no part of this.
Mr. Wood, I still don't quite grasp how we are preventing you from leaving your property to your heirs unless you have filed an application to subdivide or application for a building permit. What is preventing you from doing that? I don't understand that.
Let me explain that.
Okay.
I went in here, I was going to build a barn on a piece of property.
You applied for a building permit?
Cannot get a permit without a deeded access.
Right.
I go over to the surveyor's department. I said, well, I want to realign this. I've got a parcel that's in two pieces already. I just want to realign it so it makes sense for access. Not asking for another parcel. I've already got two parcels. All I want to do is realign it. No big deal. The county shouldn't even have anything to do with it. If I want to change the boundary lines on two parcels, is that a big thing? Cannot even give you an application to do it. until you show me deeded access. My next move, I talked to Russ here. He didn't know anything about it. Fine. He introduces Ms. Norino. And she started explaining things to me about real estate and how titles were held and blah, 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 blah. And the only thing I came aware from that meeting was the profound lack of knowledge she had about real estate. So next I come here, and I come here and come here. You people say I'm illegal. I want the code. That's all I'm asking for. Give me the darn law that you are so want to enforce here. That's all.
Are there any other members of the public that would like to comment?
Stephanie Moreno, Director of Community Development. I just, for the record on that last one, I don't remember having a conversation with Mr. White, but my memory is a little bit fractured right now. I do want to clarify for the record that we do not require only deeded access for legal access. That's a rumor that's been going around the county. We require proof of legal access, but it does not necessarily have to take the form of a deeded access. So I just want to, again, go on the record that that is not a requirement. How about some good news today? We were able to get our grant application in yesterday at 10 minutes to 5 that the board authorized us to proceed with 2 weeks ago. I wanted to give a special thanks to a number of people that really pulled together yesterday and spent hours trying to put the application together in time to get it down there. It was for $350,000 that would allow us to fund some community planning efforts in the county. In my staff, I want to thank Lynn O'Connor, Denise Meyer, Ann Schnitzler, Nanette Hughes, Christine Poe. Dave Bastizo worked on some maps last week for us. I also want to thank Janice Elliott for doing a last-minute legal review of the document to make sure we weren't causing any issues for ourselves. I'd also like to thank some people. A lot of organizations pulled together letters of support at the last minute, and I want to thank all of them. I want to give special thanks to Dana Jorgensen for Senator Cox's office, Tim Shear from City of Angels, who made a commitment to a letter as well, and Lieutenant Jim Macedo from the Sheriff's Office for doing those letters at the last second. But the biggest thanks I want to give is to Addie Jacobson from Supervisor Callaway's district. She spent hours on the phone on Saturday for me locating a place that I could go and buy the only report cover the state allowed us to use, which was a little stationery shop in Manteca. And she also spent all day yesterday helping us pull together, edit, get all the documents together, just out of sheer caring for the community that she lives in, and I just want to recognize her efforts.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
And thanks to your staff and those others that helped you. That's going to be important if we receive $350,000, but I didn't think you'd make it in time, so I'm curious to know what time you left and what time you got there and which route you took.
Admit to nothing.
This is a better don't ask, don't tell kind of situation, I think.
I think
Speed limit.
probably pushed the limit. But anyway, congratulations.
If I could step in here for a second.
Sure.
Stephanie, when we talked to Mr. White, it was just a brief discussion that took place at Saddle Creek. It was not a meeting of any kind.
Okay.
So.
I feel better now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Russ. Are there any other members of the public that would like to address the board today?
My name is Richard Derivy, and I'd like to make a couple of brief comments. One is a proposal maybe the county can use to maybe direct the other agencies in the county. Everybody's been talking about water in the county. There's all kinds of programs going on. I see new subdivisions going in. Is it possible to have the new subdivisions put in a purple pipe for future reclaimed water when they build a new subdivision, rather than wait until later where it costs tens of thousands of dollars more, and then eventually they can be hooked in? Once you dig a line for the pipe like they're doing over in Jenny Lynn now, put a purple pipe in there, it's there, so later on you connect to it. That might be something you want to consider with the planning commission or somebody, or get it into effect, that you have this in place for future use. It's the only way we're going to get more water is use reclaimed water in the future. And if you can do it now, as you propose in new subdivisions, maybe it'll help. Second comment is our favorite golf course that is here but not here, unless you buy olive oil. There's been a lot of comments in the papers about how it's going to bring extra revenue to the county with the people coming on the PGA Tour. I'm a golfer. I've been to PGA Tours. Nobody's going to come stay in Calaveras County. We don't have the facilities for it. They're all going to stay in San Joaquin and Stockton. The restaurants and the hotels in San Joaquin County will reap the rewards of the golf course if it is ever approved here. So you might want to consider that in your discussions about all this revenue that's supposed to come because of this course. And of course, there's no purple pipe down there either for reclaimed water, like La Quitenda. So he's going to have a hell of a time keeping that place green, like the other golf courses. That's all my comments.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Garidi. Are there any other public comments today? In that case, we will move along to item number 7, discussion and possible action regarding a resolution proclaiming the week of July 16, 2007 as Professional Eligibility Worker Appreciation Week in Calaveras County.
Good morning, Mary Sawicki, your Director of Calaveras Works and Human Services. We're here to request that you proclaim this week as Professional Eligibility Worker Appreciation Week. These are your staff who every day work with folks who need food, shelter, clothing, and health care. And they do it willingly, and they do an excellent job. I just want to tell you how good of a job that they've been doing. We've been receiving a number of audits this year. And as a matter of fact, when you take a look, for example, at the County Medical Services Program, we received the best audit in the state. Their rate was only one case with one minor technical error. Recently, we received also a notice from the Department of Public Health that when it comes to having children signed up for medical health care, because of some of the work at the outreach offices as well as at our main office, and also staff who have been going out to all the fairs and community events, we are now 7th in the state. And I'm hoping to be back shortly to tell you we're number 1. But we now have more kids signed up than we've ever had, so that they now have health care coverage. And it's all because of these wonderful folks who are here. And there are some missing because they're at their outstations, and they don't miss their outstation days, just to let you know. So you have a lot to be proud of. And I think they're very humble because they're only asking for a week instead of a month. And with that, I'd like for you to actually meet the people who every day do some excellent work on your behalf.
That'd be great.
And I'll start by introducing basically their leader. Kathy Houle is just wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you for recognizing us as professional eligibility workers. I'm very proud of the hard work that the entire staff does for our county. First, I'd like to introduce our unit supervisors and have them introduce our workers. First, from Unit 1 is Shelby Cottrell. Unit number 1. My eligibility worker 3, Margaret Kelly. She's my right-hand lady. She's very good at it. She's an assistant supervisor in the last one. Also have Linda Lang, Darlene Krause, Wanda Dresser, Katie Correa, Nicole Richards, and Elizabeth Nichols, who isn't here. She's on maternity leave. This is unit number 1. And unit number 2, our supervisor is Michelle Kelly. Michelle just got married. I'm Michelle Smith. I supervise the food stamp Medi-Cal unit, and again, we're very proud of the work that these people do every day. Representing my unit here is Rhonda Baker, Dana LaBelle,
Sandy Valderas Moreno, Mindy Cronholm, Beth Smith, and Sylvia Ramirez. Actually, my eligibility worker 3 is out manning the Paparopolis station today, or she would have been here. And then we also have 2 absent, Elizabeth Weber and Karen Angerstein, so I also want to acknowledge their work.
Molly Burdick is our worker in Paparopolis, and she's our outstation worker there. And again, we're very proud of the work that she does. My 3rd supervisor is Stephanie Train.
Hello. My workers administer the Cash Aid food stamp program, also foster care, and I have the 3 intake workers for the county for Cash Aid and food stamps. So I'd like to introduce them now. My EW3 Sue Lackey is out at the new Mountain Ranch outstation today, manning that, and my foster care worker Tracy is in Arnold, managing the Arnold station, so they're missing today. But I'd like to introduce Pat Stout, Alicia Dozer, Marisa Williams, Shelley Baretz. I think I've got them.
I'd also like to introduce my system support technician, Denise Branson. And our staff analyst, Sydney Press. And my other staff analyst is Connie McLean. She can't be here. Also, my meds coordinator is Suzette Ariza, and Suzette is in our West Point Outreach station today, can't be here, and I want to honor her too. My last words I'd like to say is to the eligibility workers, thank you. You increase the well-being of individuals and families of Calaveras County, and you do a great job. And thank you again, Board, for recognizing us.
Thank you, Kathy, and thank all of you. I'm really glad that you folks showed up today because there's so many people that don't realize the difference that you make in a lot of people's lives in Calaveras County, the hard work that you do. And Steve, you looked at me to
Yes, if I could. I know Suzette's not with us because she's up there working, and I know that every day she gets in up there, there's a line waiting, and it keeps on going all day long. I've watched her work for the last, whole year in this regard. I have had a flood of compliments, people calling and saying, who is that person? And you know, she cares so much about the community, but if anybody doesn't believe that one person can make a difference in the spirit of a community, in the way people feel about their government and the services it provides, I would ask you to all just check in with Suzette, because it has really turned a lot of people's lives around. I know that each one of you is involved in the same process. I just happen to get to witness this particular one, but I'm in awe of your work. I think it's just amazing what people accomplish, and the fact it's not about the benefits, it's not about just the transactions, it's about the level of caring advocacy that many of you go above and beyond. You go way out of your way to make sure that people are given a chance in life to succeed, and for the folks in West Point, that has made a world of difference, and I wanted to thank you personally for that and offer the motion to adopt this resolution.
And
Second.
Second. Moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries on the 5-0. Congratulations and thank you very much. Kathy.
Yeah, I just want to thank you, and you're right, Steve. Our workers, each one of them, makes a difference in a lot of people's lives. Thank you.
Look at Mary telling you back to work.
Mary, wait, I have a question. Mary, Congress and the President are now arguing about the health care coverage for children. Is that going to, how will that impact us? Do you know? I mean, it was really not clear. Is it because of the more money the family earns, they want to increase it?
You know, there's a discussion going both at the federal and state level on the issue of insurance, and it just keeps changing every day, to be honest with you. There's no conclusion just going on just yet. The only thing that the existing reports have shown is that when children are indeed insured, we actually, as both the state and the nation, save money. That's been proven. So we're hoping that good things will come yet.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. We move to item number 8. Discussion and possible action regarding a minute order awarding a bid for the Calaveras Airport apron rehabilitation, hangar area access, taxiways, and drainage improvements to Granite Construction in the amount of $1,389,174, subject to FAA approval. Admin, can you? Don?
Yes, thank you. I sent out, not sure all board members have the latest copy. I sent those out yesterday. Steve, I don't know, Steve always gets bogged down in his emails, so I brought extra copies and been on vacation. And we went through, Kathy Zancanella and I went through the entirety of the project to give you a recap of the scope of work as demonstrated on the front page, and then what the actual total construction budget is for this project. There was originally in the 04 grant, there was what we call a 90-10 grant, which was 90% federal fund, 5% state and local match. The latest grants are 95% federal, 5% state and local match. So we've given you the current scope of work. I think we have all of our various issues with the consultants squared away, and we're ready to move forward.
Okay, any questions from the board?
Mr. Chair, I'd move the minute order.
Your second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. You got your project, Kathy. Move to item 8A. This is the addendum today, if I can find it. There you go. The Jim Macedo.
Good morning. Jim Macedo, Captain, Sheriff's Office. We are requesting authorization for the sheriff to undertake a project designated as the Alcohol Beverage Control Grant. We feel this is a very strong project. We want to remain proactive in preventing youth from obtaining alcohol and getting involved in accidents or placing themselves in danger. We also want to work with local business owners in the prevention of selling alcohol to minors. Do you have any questions?
No. So this is $25,221, and basically, Jim, this is be used for most of it, at least, the cost of personnel to target potential sales to minors.
Correct. Most of it's going to be used to cover the overtime. This won't be a designated position. And something I think it's kind of important to know, some of the individuals from the Sheriff's Office that are going to be working on this project are the same individuals that have responded to some of the accident scenes that have previously occurred in the county where youth have been killed or seriously injured. So there's some real incentive for them to be preventative and proactive in this project.
Sure there is, yeah. Any questions or comments from the board?
I'm actually curious about the specific activities they'll be involved in the summertime. I assume that almost all the personnel will be people who are current. This is okay. That's what I did.
Yeah, at the bottom of the recommendations, we'll be utilizing decoys for both. We hope it's attempted purchases and purchases of alcohol, and the shoulder tap operation is to prevent adults from purchasing alcohols for minors, which we have recognized we do have a problem with in this county. And there's a couple of other locations and different programs that we have not done in the past. We obtained this grant 2 years ago, ran through one cycle of it, and we'd like to kind of expand that a little bit this year.
There was one issue that's come up repeatedly around a couple of the local drinking establishments in my district where people who have repeatedly gotten into trouble, accidents or violence, are given more alcohol on a regular basis than they can handle. And I'm wondering whether there's any way to discourage such establishments from going beyond people's capacity and actually aiding in these kinds of circumstances. Is this part of this program?
It can be, Supervisor Walensky. It's, I believe, I'm trying to think of the correct terminology for that, but alcohol beverage control specifically has a section, and it's a punitive section for serving the obviously intoxicated party. Part of this project after the operation is done is to go back in and educate the business owner and the employees of not only the ramifications of violating the sections, but to try and educate them in prevention, because what we've found in the past, not all of the employees of some of these establishments are familiar with all of the laws. So there's definitely an educational component of this. And if we were to do an operation at a particular bar, at the conclusion of that, we would go back in and not only speak with the owner, but the employees, and go over a variety of conditions. And obviously, if we were to witness somebody serving an obviously intoxicated person, that would be brought up.
Thanks.
Okay, I have just I guess, question, comment on the operation. I hope you emphasize how the part where you say you're going to work with the business owners and not just, try to find a violation and close them down kind of thing. I mean, I think that it's important that you work with them, and then if they're not working with you and you have repeated violations, then drop the hammer, but try to get them to understand what the rules are, what level of enforcement you guys are going to be providing, and that procedurally how they have to act in order to avoid some form of censure. So we have lots of establishments, and hopefully the objective isn't to sort of just shut them all down, but to make them be responsible under what the rules are today.
Yeah, that is not our intention, and the big reason behind this grant is prevention, and it's to be proactive. And the only way we can do that is by educating the business owner. So that's absolutely our intention.
But it's youth-oriented, right?
It is. This particular grant is specifically youth-oriented. And the people that have been, the project coordinator, Sergeant Tracy Busby, and the people that have been selected to work this grant, they have a lot of incentive to see that it succeeds, and that we also educate the business owners. We're not looking to just run around and shut down businesses.
I think what we need to do is try to get a grant that would target the senior citizens so that we can get up into Forest Meadows and answer the problems there.
I knew we wouldn't make it all day. I just knew it.
Well, I have to say, I owned a bar.
See, I was right.
And there might not be too many rules that a bar owner might not know all the ABC rules, but they do know you do not serve people who are intoxicated, and you do check IDs. And there is no excuse of I didn't know from any bar owner in Calaveras County. So, I mean, I like the fact that we're not punitive. I mean, I agree with Tom on that, but that's such a basic rule.
There is a punitive condition here, though. You realize that these folks can be fined. Well, it's not the complete emphasis of the project, but yes,
they can be shut down for days or weeks.
They can be handled administratively through the alcohol beverage control or criminally through the district attorney's office.
Now that we've heard from the Queen, is there a motion?
Yes, I will make that motion.
Yeah, I will second the motion as a former bar owner.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries on a 5-0. Thank you very much, Captain. Moving along to item number 9, discussion and possible action regarding appointment of District 5 application to the Parks and Recreation Commission. This item is continued from the July 3rd, 2007 board meeting. District 5 Supervisor Thomas.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, if you recall from that meeting, the circumstances were that I had 3 applicants for the appointments to the Parks and Recreation Commission. I hadn't had an opportunity to meet with the applicants, but I did meet with them, and I'm pleased to report to you that I have selected as my recommendation for the commissioner's position Millie Mascott, who is really quite well qualified for the position.
And tenacious.
Tenacious, yes, and former director of a Parks and Recreation District out of Santa Clara, continuing member of state Parks and Recreation organizations. She'll be a very, very good asset to this commission. And followed just really right on the heels of Millie, we have Louis Boitano, who is also, like Millie, a member of the local Copperopolis Parks and Recreation Committee down there. Lou is here in the audience. Thanks for coming, Lou. Lou is going to be my first alternate, and then I actually want to have two alternates, a first and second designation of Greg Meyer, who is also on the Parks and Recreation in Copperopolis, and all three of these people are, any one of them could have been the designated commissioner, and I'm really pleased that they have agreed with me that this is a structure that we'd like to go forward with. So it's Millie and Lou and Greg.
And is that a motion?
That is a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries on the 5-0.
Okay, I have a question at this point. Does that complete, I'm having missed the last meeting, are we now fully, that we had one appointment to be made from the CCWD, and I don't know if we've heard from them, and we had one other district that had yet to report as of 2 weeks ago?
Supervisor Callaway has an appointment for us that'll be coming to us in a few weeks. CCWD and their board agenda have designated Bertha Underhill, their president, to be on the board. Donna Leatherman is going to serve on the Parks and Rec until we get a formal decision from the San Andreas Recreation Group, and I'm waiting still for the City of Angels, but they're a non-voting member, so my intent is to send out a email this afternoon, now that we have Supervisor Thomas's appointments and a potential candidate for Supervisor Callaway, and schedule our first meeting. I have an agenda drafted up, so that will be going out today.
My appointment can't go on the agenda for 3 weeks?
Well, the 24th, we don't want to do an addendum for the 24th.
We're not meeting the 20, I mean, the application was in time, wasn't it, Carol?
Well, given,
I mean, that's fine.
Given this group has been waiting to meet, we're very excited about it.
She's going to meet she's
we'll
going
invite her anyway, because
Okay.
that is going to be, but we've got the list established now, and an email contact list, and that will go out today, trying to determine what's the best night
I
of the
don't
week
want an
and the
addendum
hours.
on this, guaranteed. But I thought it was in ahead of time to make it on consent for the 24th, but that's fine. Whatever Carol can do is fine.
I don't know if it's appropriate, but the board could possibly amend the motion that we just made and add that candidates.
No.
I'd have to, you want to wait
No,
till the 7th?
It's not on the agenda. Her name's not out here.
Okay.
I don't think that's appropriate.
And then
I mean, it's not a big deal. She's going to be invited.
we'll put it on for the first meeting in August, but we plan on meeting as quickly as possible.
Okay, that concludes the agenda. We move on to the review of correspondence, reports, and various matters of interest on the board. We start with Supervisor Tryon, please.
I do not have anything to bring before the board this morning, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Steve?
Today, we have CHIPS board meeting at 6:30. Tomorrow, there is a local motherlode job training meeting for Calaveras County from 8 to 10, and then the regional board meeting, which I'm assigned to, at 2 o'clock in Sonora. And the COG bike plan, transportation plan in this room at 6:30 that evening. And then on Friday, the JPA family support meeting in Markleyville at 9:30 in the morning.
Thank you. The only thing I have is the regularly scheduled COG meeting on Wednesday, right here, Wednesday at 6:30?
6:30.
6:30. Read.
I have Calaveras Public Power Authority, Wednesday, Council of Governments, Wednesday night, Debt Advisory on Thursday.
We've rescheduled that to the 26th now because of some members could not
I won't be
there.
here the 26th.
Okay.
Okay, Debt Advisory is off the calendar, Carol. And with Steve, we'll be in Markleyville Friday for the Central Sierra Child Support. That's all my pointed.
Russ?
Okay, I have nothing for this week, but I'm just going to make an advanced announcement that on the 25th, the following week on Wednesday, there is a meeting that will be at the Cheeseboro Room at the library, wherein the regional representatives from the Regional Water Quality Control Board are coming down to talk about some of the issues associated with the copper mine tailings in Copperopolis. And then immediately after that meeting, since these folks are going to be in town, we're convening that first meeting of the Joint Water Board with CCWD and the other water providers. And if you recall, I was appointed as the board's representative to that Joint Water Board meeting, and that will be let's see, I'm pretty sure that it's at 1 o'clock, and it's going to be in the CCWD chambers on the 25th.
Thank you. I missed the time that you announced for the initial meeting in the Cheeseboro Room.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. Okay. You have something?
Yeah, I have some more. Tom Tryon, can you do Fish and Game for me on the 25th? I have a conflict between Fish and Game and...
What day of the week is that?
It's a Wednesday here.
A week from this Wednesday.
Yes, I emailed you to ask you if you could. Last time you would, you didn't show up, and I got in trouble.
I didn't tell you that I would.
I want to know, in a public meeting, are you going to show up for me?
What time is it?
It's at 6:30.
Okay.
6:30 here on the 25th.
Okay, next, a week from Wednesday.
Yes.
A week from tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Last week, I went to the Sierra Business Council meeting in Tuolumne, and I brought back for each of you the State of the Sierras. They've divided it this time by areas within the Sierras. I thought there's a lot of good information in there. It's really an update, so they're dividing it by areas. Eventually, I think they're going to move and divide it as the Sierra Nevada Conservancy is divided. I also got, which is not in there, the information they gave us, but by our particular region. And I'm just going to route that to you as a board so you can see that. A reminder to the board that we have all committed to a 9 a.m. meeting on the 31st with Richard Gordon, who's going to be the incoming president of California State Association of Counties. He will be here on Tuesday the 31st. He is a supervisor from San Mateo County. He is interested in the issues that we as a county are facing, and I think this is the first time I've ever known a CSAC president to make a tour. So I want you all to please put that in ink because you did commit.
We did?
Yes, I asked you before I confirmed.
I don't have a location for that.
The senior center.
Senior center.
I believe President Stein did visit Calaveras County.
Oh, yeah, that's right, he did.
Briefly.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, thanks. Tom, anything?
No, not at this time.
Okay, Jim? Nothing. Carol? Okay, this meeting's adjourned.